it's an exciting 15 minutes. That's the first time I'd seen Pat in years when he and his wife, I was so happy when they came to my birthday party. I'm always proud to say I retired from Sutter.
So we really like that video. Again, it goes back to connecting to purpose with us. And at Sutter Health, we're a large healthcare organization in Northern California, roughly 5,000 physicians, 24 acute hospitals, nearly 50,000 employees. With that, we have a large Epic instance. The single largest Epic is our EHR vendor. We have about 25,000 concurrent users at a time. We generate a tremendous amount of data with that. And so a little bit more facts there. But what I liked about that slide, it talked about We Plus You, and that's the Sutter Health model. What we're going to be presenting about today is the We Connect You platform. And so it's taking those ideologies and trying to get access to the data, to the people that can make a difference. And so we're on a journey with self-service analytics, and in healthcare, that's transforming quite a bit. So I'm really excited to introduce Kanwal first. She's going to show you a little bit about what We Connect You is as a platform that we've developed. And then Rashmi is going to tell you all the nitty-gritty details of what that took. So with that, Kanwal, please.
Great. Thank you, Matt. Pretty low. Can you guys hear me? Yes. Okay, great. So just an overview of our agenda. Of course, overview of the We Connect You platform. So I'll be just kind of introducing it from the user experience, like the business perspective, and then I'll pass it over to Rashmi, who'll go into describe the development or the technical aspect of it. We'll also go into our process for supporting and enhancing it, and then of course lessons learned. So here's our We Connect You platform. Of course, a Sutter Health information portal is what we're calling it. We're connecting the enterprise to data analytics and reporting. Some of the feature highlights you'll see, we have a menu on the side, library services, tools, albums. I'll highlight some of that. Some stuff under the tools, we have our mobile. So if you, of course, wanted to go into mobile Microstrategy, Explore, which goes into SAP HANA, big data. And then we have some features up there that I'll introduce just shortly as well. And then you have the top 6 reports feature, which I'll go into. So the idea behind, like Matt mentioned, is that we're connecting our employees to the data that's available. Why? What the need was? What's the purpose? It's because throughout the enterprise, we have the many hospitals, the many affiliates, and everybody was working in silos. Everyone's creating their own reports. When you go and look for admissions reports, you can have like 15 different admissions reports, maybe with the same logic behind it. So what we wanted to do is bring everything together into a centralized location and of course standardize it. We're a part of the EDM, which is Enterprise Data Management Department, and we have data governance under our umbrella as well. So not only that we're providing these resources to our employees, we're also governing the data, cleaning up the data. We have master data management under our umbrella as well. So several different elements that go under enterprise data management. So moving on to our top 6 reports feature. Of course, this is available for the users to immediately get into their report. So the logic behind it basically works is that it identifies the most commonly and frequently used reports within MicroStrategy and displays that on the home page. It updates every night at 8 o'clock, so tomorrow morning when you come to access it, you'll see your most commonly used reports. A use case for this has been really great is because our managed care nurses and some of the affiliates have been utilizing this because they need to immediately come in the morning, clock in, and then get to their patient list. So their reports, like one example would be like the managed care patient invites report. They'll click on that, immediately get a list of their patients because the report behind it basically brings in data from Epic and some of our accountable care organizations like Anthem, and we're now going into HealthNet and stuff like that. So it brings that data in, merges it together so that our managed care nurses don't have to go into Epic and go into another Excel spreadsheet to get that data. Okay, moving on. So the We Connect You also offers all-inclusive features so that our users don't have to go to the different Sutter Health organization sites. We included our Sutter Health YouTube channel, just a brief screenshot there. Our RSS feed, which is our Sutter Health Newsline. basically up-to-date news information, just as if you were to go to sutterhealth.org, you would see that. And then our recently added report. So behind our We Connect You, within MicroStrategy, we also built a reports repository to kind of merge in the different repositories that existed within our enterprise. So what the recently added reports does is that as new reports are added, you can, it's a quick link to basically see what the new reports are. And going into the reports repository is one of the most important features that we wanted to highlight, is because not only does this provide users the recently added reports, but an idea of what the standard reports are. The search feature on the home page basically does a smart search. So if I wanted to maybe type in acute AC, and you'd start getting the smart search and the reports that are populated, and you click on it, and then you get another pop-up. Now you can go ahead and click under the report name, and it'll either give you an example of the report or additional details regarding it. Then another look at the reports repository. Again, like I said, this is built within MicroStrategy, just a simple grid. We use some of the filter capabilities to kind of identify some attributes that users may want to search by. So let's say if I was looking for a report that maybe contained the measure AAA unruptured, I can go ahead and click on that, and it will display reports that actually include that measure. Now this ties us into our key performance indicator library, which I'll go into in just a second. So, so once you identify the measures, you can also click on the little circle icon, and you could get a list of the measures that may be contained within a report. So there's a few ways you can look for measures and other details, such as if you're looking for maybe a business function such as finance, you can use that filter to get finance reports, accountability reports, etc. The We Connect You measure and key performance indicator library is also tied into this. This is it exists in SharePoint at this time. Eventually, we're hoping to move it to MicroStrategy, but at this point, we just developed an HTML container, put our SharePoint link in there, and it provides you our measure library. Of course, they're all listed. If you clicked on the measure, it then gives you additional details and attributes regarding those measures. And one of the last things I wanted to explain, and then we'll go into some of the big data that Rashmi will talk about, is our Sutter Health domain albums. So the reports within MicroStrategy, we're categorizing them according to the Sutter Health domains, or what our focus is on. So we have two operating units within Northern California, Bay Area operating unit and Valley operating unit, and then it goes into other domains such as clinical quality and care, patient experience, information services, administration, HR people, and financial. So if you're looking for, let's say, financial reports, you could come and click on this, and it'd give you a list of the financial reports that exist. Of course, there's security that we've applied behind it as well. So if, you know, let's say a front office clerk doesn't have access or isn't allowed to see HR reports, she wouldn't be able to see it. She could, however, see maybe some of the executive reports or the clinical quality and care reports that she needs. Okay, so now I'll hand the mic over to Rashmi. And so Rashmi comes to us from Intel. She just joined our group, I believe June of last year, with 10 plus years of MicroStrategy experience. She's our BI architect, and we'll go into our We Connect You technical aspect. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Kenneth. You all can hear me, right? So, thank you. As Kenneth just mentioned, so she did cover everything as our mission or what we had to build, and I think even Matt covered about it, is we wanted a one-stop shop portal where users can come in and get their reports, get their KPIs, library. I'll be talking more about the challenges we faced in technical terms, and also not only technical challenges while building the documents or a dashboard, but also the process, what we took, what we did, and the standards we applied, because there were multiple projects across the organization and everyone should have the same process applied across. And also some design tips I will be sharing with you all what we have done so far. So this is basically the front end you just saw, We Connect You. This is the back end, and this is how it looks. And if you can see, We Connect You, the most technical challenges we had is we had so many URLs hard-coded on the page, and this dashboard, actually a document is created in MicroStrategy, and it has all the panels. It has more than 55 to 60 panels, and each panel stack has multiple panels into it. So there are some challenges we had to face. There were some restrictions that each panel stack can have not more than 8 to 9 panels in it. So there were some, I think when Kamil covered on the left side of the menu, you have to see whether it's 8 or 9. So we have to have that restrictions and maintain it. And then hard-coded, of course, we actually implement our Microstrategy environment into 3 environments, which is development, QA, and production. So whenever we do migrations from one environment to other environment, it's a bit challenging and tricky. So we did introduce some processes and standards. So whenever any new project gets started, what are the minimal requirements a user has to do, or as a business user? So project requests can come from anyone who has been working in IT or a purely business user. So we created some standards for them to fill in. And once the project is built in the development, we also introduced a migration process to put a request and then how it goes from development to QA, QA to production. There were some documents, essential documents, and again, these were mostly from the technical aspect. Is basically whenever you are moving your code, and if you have really created any metadata in MicroStrategy, we introduce a design code review, a peer review forum, which makes sure that you have followed the star schema or multidimensional as needed. And if you have used only a VI development, so what are your data sets and how your data is maintained. So there are some top 10 development tips. So basically, whenever we start doing our project, there are some tips which we experienced and we share with our business, especially the one who are doing the VI development, so that they can follow these design and development tips and become very independent in their development. And this morning I actually attended one session of self-service managed VI, and I think the most vote was independence of IT. So this tips and all, so that's how we are, and it is evolving as we grow more, and probably we'll keep changing it. So these are the really good tips for any business users to directly create reports in VI. So first of all, get the data right, then move to the development. And then I won't read all of them, but most of them is like, basically you need to identify whether you want to create a dashboard or a document, what exactly you're looking for, and what output you want to see, and analyze your data. So first find that. There is one nice tip we had is use your text box, image, hyperlinks to document our reports. So sometimes, especially when the data is coming in from outside, and I think some of the examples we just shared, YouTube or Facebook or Twitter, so it's always have to have a good textbook or image used on your document itself, so that you don't have to really go to the other websites or something. So we are still in the development phase of many other projects and integrating all other projects into one setup. So we do have ongoing opportunities moving forward is how to manage self-service, align our standards approach to manage the self-service. So as I just mentioned, so we have a development across many organizations, and everyone develops in their own way. So we have to find out the best way how to manage the self-service, especially when we have to maintain 3 different environments and when it's ready for production. Little bit more details on the architectural side of it. So we do have similar structure as 3-tier structure, and this is the left side we have, and these are the technologies actually we are using in Sutter today. So we do have SAP HANA, Hadoop, MicroStrategy, and data quality. I won't take a lot of time on other technologies, but basically we are doing our algorithm and predictive analytics of certain models in HANA, and then we have our data lake as Hadoop, where we are bringing in the clarity data, HR data, and then creating a lake, and MicroStrategy has been used as visualization layer. So there are some product and services we have been successfully evolved is HR predictive analytics, ICD reporting, pharmacy data processing, and data for marketing analysis. So these are the things we are in process, and it is a big challenge because all the technologies we are using are latest and new. So it's been quite a journey for us. So as this is back to the same page and what just Kanwal shared with you guys. So if you see here on the left side under the tools, there is says a mobile and explore. So from the MicroStrategy perspective, we use all the components of MicroStrategy. We use MicroStrategy Mobile, we use MicroStrategy Office, and in some cases we still are in development and QA, not in production, but we are using different